From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Huna Gu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Huna Gu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Huna Gu Eva Maya E Ma Ho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
Welcome everybody to the Artist Tiny House Village. And I got light shining in that I didn't want to shine in, but that's where we are. So welcome to July 3rd, 2026, 11. For those of you who are new to the Artist Tiny House Village, we talk a lot about numbers because it's the language of the universe. So I hope you're paying attention to the language because it's speaking to us big time lately. The number 47 kept coming up this week for me. And that's 74. My sister, Mama AZ, turned 74. So I turned that around. It's a 47. It's an 11. Here we go. And then I have a friend who's 74 who I've been communicating with. And so 74, 47, I was raised. I was born into the number 47, which is the street I lived on for 17 years of my life in Chicago, 47th Street. Didn't mean anything to me until now. Like I realized 47, 11, very angelic energy. So look around you, look at your street number, look at your age, look at the people in your life, their ages, and you will see messages from the Most High Kingdom of the universe. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. And we got a lot to talk about because this topic came up from a discussion that I was having with a friend last night about mourning. And we have a friend who been in mourning because his partner for several years left her body. That's what we do. And I want to just bring some perspective into the word dying and death, because we really should change our language. Just like my guest last week, Christy Priester, who's in a wheelchair, paralyzed from the waist down, she and I decided the word disabled should come out of our vocabulary because she's really just a person with special needs. And the word disabled has so many negative connotations. People's behavior gets weird when you say you're disabled, blah, blah, blah. So instead of saying I'm disabled, especially for the person who's using it, just say I have special needs. And that's a truth that to me and her resonated so much better than I'm not able I'm and not able, blah blah blah, but I just have special needs. Because when you're in a wheelchair, some people do more than people with working legs, right? I've seen that happen. People who have active legs, they sit around watching TV, they don't run, they don't walk. So we're changing our vocabulary today from death to transition or to departure, because the word dying brings about too much grief that, honestly, in my 71 years of traveling around the sun, I see that we don't have time to grieve and mourn. We really don't. We don't, because time is going by so fast. Just this week, a little grandma story. I like to bring in my grandma stories. We celebrated both my grandchildren's birthdays in June. They're like a week apart. We had such a good time. We went to a taco place. We met new people. We were celebrating their lives. And then just a few days ago, my granddaughter was in the hospital because she got a serious burn from boiled water playing around with her phone, which she doesn't like to listen to grandma when I say, put that phone down, put the phone down. I'm always saying, she didn't put her phone down. So she was at a friend's house and in the kitchen working with her phone, talking to her friend, and she went too close to a pot of boiling water on the stove, and boom, she got first and second degree burns on her body. This little 12-year-old experienced pain like she never experienced in her life and was in the emergency room shortly thereafter. And I just thought about, look at the drama that occurs within the time that you celebrate, and a week later you're in the emergency room. Time goes by so fast. And that's why we want to talk about dancing. Time to dance. It's always time to dance, because you just don't know what's going to happen next week. Your partner, someone, your grandchildren in the hospital, and then all the drama and emotions around that create even more disruption in this body. And that's what grief and mourning do. They disrupt the homeostasis, the peace that we're meant to have on this earth, regardless of what's going on, whether it's Venezuela, earthquakes. These things are going to happen. And so today we want to just work through, process. That's what we're here to do as human beings. Process every day. Wake up, my body. I have an ache here. I have an ache there. I'm going to process the hell out of it by rolling my neck around. I'm going to process. I'm not staying in a weakened state. And you shouldn't want to do that either, because this is a strong, strong vessel. This is a sacred, strong vessel meant to overcome anything. So it's a choice to stay in mourning and grief. And the scriptures say, I read Psalms and Proverbs a lot lately. They say, you turn my mourning into dancing, and joy comes in the morning. Those are two very important or influential words that we can really process to help us get into dancing. Because when the scriptures say, you turn my mourning into dancing, and out of the mourning comes joy, then we need to take that to heart as a wisdom teaching about how to process mourning in the morning. Turn my mourning into joy, the morning, MOURNIG, and joy comes in, not just the morning, MORNING, but joy comes in the morning when we process it. So today we're going to process the mourning and the grief so that we don't miss out on the joy that the Creator has for us. Because that's what the mourning and grief come, but our Creator wants us to process that. We are not meant to stay in it. So that's what we're going to work on today. If you have said goodbye to someone close to you that was really near and dear to you, especially, I mean, look at Muhammad, Farrakhan. Farrakhan had to say goodbye to a woman he's been with for 73 years. Oh my goodness. You know what his prayer and his was? He said, thank you, Allah, for her for bringing her into my life. That was the message he gave us. Now, I'm sure he's mourning, but his process started with gratitude. Gotta listen to wisdom like that. His process of saying goodbye to a woman he's been with for 73 years started with gratitude. Not many of us can do that, but let's work on it. Let's work on it. Because what I'm saying is you're missing out on the joy that the Creator has for you. There's more joy. But when one person leaves their body and we spend a year or two mourning and distancing ourselves from other people and not having the joy that the Creator wants us to have, I'm not talking about me or anyone else, but when the scripture says you turn my mourning into joy, that's a message for us to remember why we're here. We're not here to mourn forever, years, and then weaken and die. That's what my sister did when her daughter passed. 2 years of mourning, she's out of here. Good lesson for me. But let us welcome life in my village, which is why I'm here. I'm here to promote tiny house village living, and this is the journey that I've been on that brought me much joy. Let me just go from the beginning.
The cook could put it in high. The cook could put in high. And how could was in this order? Could the cook record in high? The cook.
Now that shed you just saw, I actually renovated that. I painted the outside. I went inside and got holes out of. I sealed up holes in the wall and tore down wood pieces and all that. It was an amazing process for me to learn how to renovate an old shed. It was a great experience, and that was on the property where my tiny house on wheels was. So I love that picture there where the house turns from old paint to blue door, and all. That was me. Did all that work on my own because I needed to know the process to renovate and renew something. And it was a great, great lesson for me on how when you see something old and worn out, there's all kinds of potential and possibilities in that. And that's why I'm in this 320 square foot shed, because when my son originally moved into this property and this shed was sitting in the backyard, they didn't know what to do with it. Neither did I, until I had to move from the ashram, beautiful ashram I was living in. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And then my son and his dad put a new roof on this. And then still there was this empty shed, nothing in it. It's all wall with tools and benches and all this. And the thought came to me, okay, you're going to renovate this. You already practice on a smaller shed. So I'm ready to teach you how to do that. If you need a house, there's so many videos on YouTube about how to live in a small space and enjoy it. And guess what? This space, this vessel, this house, we're meant to have a soul journey in here, a soul dwelling in here with joy. Small space, but our soul is huge. Our soul has been around. Our soul has been everywhere, anywhere. And it is meant to teach us. This body is meant to teach us how to process emotions that come and go while we're in this vessel, right? So let's start, as every Friday morning, we promote some joy by moving our body. That's one of the first things that I do in the morning when I wake up, is like kick my legs up. I start rotating my ankles, and that's what helps you come out of the mourning and the grief, is moving your body. So I'm grateful to invite you to join me in this meditative joint rolling that helps us wake up these cells and come out of mourning and grief. If you are sad because someone has left you, this is for you. This is for you. We want to help you process that emotion of sadness because it will bring you more pain. If you hold on to it, you're going to wonder why you have pain in your back, your leg, your ear, your eye. It'll show up in the most weird places. Believe me, I've been there, done that. And then you have to be in a consciousness mode to realize, okay, my body is speaking to me about how I'm processing the departure. This person didn't die. Their soul is alive and well and happy, dancing. Okay, their soul is dancing while they left me. How could they leave me? And it really, to me, has become like really an ego and pride thing. How could you leave me? I had expectations for our life together. I had plans. What is your problem? Why would you leave me here alone? Because the universe says it's time to go. The numbers speak. That's what, if you look at the dates that people leave their body, the souls leave their body, says huge message memo to you. Guess what? We planned this. And that's what, if you haven't heard me, my partner, my significant other that left here last year, I was with this man for 5 years, intimacy somewhat, but we had a great friendship. That's the best thing about this man. We went to Cuba together we had a great friendship. And he was a veteran of Vietnam War. So I had to learn how to deal with the PTSD, which was a great lesson. But on the day that his soul decided to exit this body, October 23rd, 2025, and I found out a week later, that's the day my maternal grandmother came into the earth, into her mother's body. October 23rd was my maternal grandmother's Earth Day entrance. And a partner I'd had for 5 years left on the same day on the calendar. What the? I was like, what? Powerful message for me that it was all planned. Guess there's no coincidences in my life anymore. It's all synchronicities, plans, and like, oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? So that's why we're here today, to process the mourning and the grief and dance. And we've got a message here. Robert Young says, awesome show. Let's see. Joy comes in the morning. That's the scripture. That is the reminder that not just mourn. If you put a U in that word mourning, it says when you process the mourning, not for 5 years, not for even a year. That's just, to me, that's just too long, because then your body is really going to start aching. Joy will come. It's a guarantee, because you get enlightened, you get inspired, you get a new people in your life. And then it says they have not left, they have left you with their spiritual essence. Exactly. That's what this is all about. Process. We're going to process in a minute by rotating our joints, which helps you let go of any stuck energy like grief, like sadness, like disappointment. We're going to let it go. And we have another comment here. Naima Latif says, we are here on earth for a temporary learning experience. Our religions teach us a backward way of thinking about life. So true. Religion. We got to understand, process that thought right there. How religion teaches us kind of a backwards way of thinking about life. The real life of our souls outside this body, in the time before and after our physical incarnation experience. That's the process that we go through from kindergarten, Sunday school, to adulthood, meditation, meditation, and processing grief and all that into joy. It's a long process for some of us, but it's worth it, because we get a guarantee you're going to have joy when you do it. That's the whole lesson right there. Thank you, Naima. And let's see, Kim at Pinking, she's sending us, wow, wow, what beautiful flowers. I couldn't even see it. That is so cute and so nice. Thank you, Kim. That's a beautiful message to process. We process the flowers. They're still living. No death in the flowers. And Robert Young says, my 103-year-old friend died. We're not using died because people, that connotation is sadness, grief. We transitioned, departed, let's say departed, the soul departed within 2 weeks. Let me see. She just needed to communicate and vent before she took off the flesh. That's interesting. Again, process. That's what happens. We all process differently. That's what I love about it. And life is for the living. Thank you for those words. We got all kinds of wise words here. And Kim says, wow, my father passed 10/22/23. We must be related, Kim. We got to talk, Kim. We must be related because that's significant. See that when you recognize, thank you, Kim, for sharing that. And I hope you're doing well, remembering the beauty and the memories, good or bad, that he brought, the lesson. Hey, we're here. Thank you for more flower. We're here to learn lessons. This journey on earth is all about lessons every step of the way, whether it's grandchildren in the hospital, transitions, it's all about lessons. So let us thank you all for your comments. I just love that everybody is really engaged on this topic, because I just want, we, not me, we, and that includes all these angels around me, my ancestors, you it includes all of us. We want you to process today and get out of the sad, low frequency, low vibration mourning grief. We want you to get out of that and blossom, as Kim just reminded us. In blossom, we blossom flowers. There's magnolias on the tree out there. I got to go out and just sniff before they fall off. It's time to blossom. It really is time to blossom. And Kim says, I find comfort that my father is with me in the spirit. I can feel him. Woo-hoo! Yes, 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 yes. That's what we do. We do. Because the transition is a new energy of feeling them without seeing them. Isn't that powerful? I love that, Kim. Thank you. That's the comfort, is that all those days we were watching them break down, their bodies breaking down, they cry in the morning, the emotions of galore. Now it's just one pure emotion of peace. How about that? I'm sure Kim is feeling peace with her dad's presence, as we all do when we tap into the presence of our ancestors who are still with us. We feel peace. They bring us peace now. So that is one of the good things about a person leaving us. They're going to bring us peace, not anger, resentment, jealousy, whatever energy they had while they were in your face on this earth. It's gone. Poof. They are now in peace. They can't hold that low frequency when they transition. That's the beauty of it. So let us take a deep breath together and start the process. Can we start the process? We're going to start the process of breath work first, and then I'm going to bring in the Taurus video that helps us see the energy that we're putting out. The energy that when we do this rotation of our joints and move our body, this is such a beautiful, and the music, this is what is energetically going on when we tap into our cosmic joints, our portal joints that open up when we move this temple around and flow with the Taurus that is activated when we move. When we move, we have this aura of energy that this video will help you see. that helps you heal other people even when you're activated. If you're in mourning and you're not moving and dancing, there you're just creating this stale energy right around you. But when you let go of the mourning and the grief, you create this healing what they call heart torus that reaches out to other people. So let us just start together. Take a deep breath. Blow it out, blow it out, blow it out, blow it out. Blow out any frustration, anger, bitterness, sadness, weakness, and breathe in through your nose or your mouth. Take inventory. What feels best for you? Breathing in through your nose, letting go through your mouth, or breathing in through your mouth and letting go through. You can experiment with both of those. But we're going to start out rotating our head, our neck, the throat chakra first. We're going to go to the heart chakra area, activating that, and then to the solar plexus and the root chakra. We're moving downward, and then we're going to get on our back and rotate those ankles and wrists together to create the strong root chakra energy that pulses out and gives you strength and energy. So let's get started with the strong, healthy. So let us sit up and process all that energy by rubbing your hands together, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. Feel the energy you create with your hands. And then just place that on the back of your neck to squeeze your stem cells. Create this energy throughout your body by activating your strong energy in your neck and your spinal cord, bringing all that energy you just created all over your body. Just spread that energy all over your face, your head. Vagus nerve stimulation. Squeeze and get the vagus nerve going. Breathe in, activate life, activate life. You're here to love and share your experience with everyone you meet. When you go in the grocery store, tap. When you go in the grocery store, do you hear music? Do you dance when you're in the grocery store? You should be dancing. I was amazed. I was walking with my shopping cart and Michael Jackson came on while I was moving my shopping cart. And I'm just dancing down the aisle and I'm seeing people smiling, just watching me dance with my shopping cart. Michael Jackson, Beat It. I don't know I think it was Beat It because that's number one right now. Or Billie Jean. One of them came on and I just found myself pushing my cart to move into the music and people were smiling. That's all I noticed, people smiling. And some of them may have started dancing. I didn't pay attention, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to share this heart Taurus energy wherever we go and lift people's spirits along the way. So how are we feeling after your joint meditative rotation? So put it in the comments so people know it's worth it. It's worth it to do these rotations because you feel a little better, more energy maybe. So we're going to go, I'm going to put on a little more music and I'm going to go to my studio and we're going to get busy on how mourning and grief affect your mind and body. There's actually a dancing therapy technique, or there's a healing therapy that I want to introduce you to about for dancing. And we're going to learn a little bit more about the mourning and all that. What happened? Oh my. Try to be strong. Okay, so we've got a lot to show you. So we'll be right back after that.
Enha kabos enli soora korona kokrakos kodo enha na kukabura enha na kukabuch enha adukti madres with mad pushalao on the back with mad the cool type of yow the cook sahapa akam papa r penenza put the kukana sa or go who's to get a limit to order azempa haka.
So we're back in the studio. Welcome and thank you for joining me this morning. This is so important when I look at how many people have stayed in this state of mourning and grief too long and then they die and then they transition too. We have two people leave because one transitions, departs from their body, and then the mourning and grief the person holds on to that and then they transition. So we see this process of one grief after another taking people out. And so it's enough grief to go around with Venezuela earthquake, and war after war after war. It's a choice that we have if we're going to stay in that low frequency, low energy of war and sadness and grief and all that, or if we want to raise our vibration with dancing. So what is it about a dance movement? So wait, let me start with how one person says, her story about not trying to be strong when you're grieving. Because let me just do a disclaimer that this show is not intended to replace any advice you may be receiving from your doctor. if you have an acute or a chronic health condition that you have not been able to resolve, please see your trusted health professional. Now, I consider myself a trusted health professional, but you may not. So if you do, if you don't, that's fine. Do find someone that can help you lift out of the mourning, because as we said, when you turn the mourning into joy, you'll see such a difference in your life. And that's what our Creator writes. That's what that book, the Psalms or Proverbs, are meant to inspire in us, the message that our universe love energy, the Creator's love energy. Oh my goodness, this tree is blossoming all of a sudden. So I'm seeing pink flowers for a change. That kind of joy is meant to be shared and radiated and broadcasted. And it's a choice to stay in a place of, oh, poor me, I've lost my friend, I've lost my lover, I've lost it, because they did not meet my expectations. My significant other left right on time, October 23rd. It's like, well, okay, what can I do except accept and celebrate that the universe showed me the timing, the perfect timing. And if you really look deep into the departure of your loved ones, perfect timing. It really is perfect timing. The time on the clock, the date, everything is perfect timing. So don't look at it so much as the worst day of your life. Look at it in the sense of how do I come out of this? How do I process this? It's really all about how do I process. And this is just a first story of someone's testimony. Don't try to be strong when you're grieving. I liked her her personal experience, and it's really short. I was trying to find short testimonies, and there's tons of them. There's one by the experts, Healing from Grief or Loss. Grieving is the Key to Emotional Healing by one doctor. But this is just one. I might play him. Grieving is the Key to Emotional Healing. That's another. But listen to her, how she processed it.
A lot of people might tell you to be strong as a way to deal with your grief. But I think that telling yourself to be strong is like when you have double pneumonia and 2 broken legs, saying, okay, this is the day I'm climbing Mount Everest. How can you be strong when you're at your weakest? God is saying, I know this hurts. I realized that I only thought God was good if He would do things my way. I realized that I had a very kind of business relationship with God. I thought, okay, the rules are in the Bible. I'm following the rules. You're supposed to do what I want. I had to face the fact that I didn't like God that much. I didn't trust Him that much. And I had to learn how to relate to Him in a completely different way. I had to find out a different way to know Him and to love Him and trust Him. Sometimes people will share a truth with you that has meant a lot to them, but it feels like a slap in the face to you. And it's really hard to know how to respond, especially when you do have some sense that the person is trying to help you. And I think first you kind of have to make some sort of response to the other person. And sometimes all you can say is, thank you, I'll need to think about that for a while. But then you have to say to the Lord, Lord, that was too much for now. But help me to file it, and then please bring it out to me if there is a point where you want me to think about it.
Grief Share is a support group that helps you heal from the pain of grief. The Grief Share video seminars, workbook exercises, and small group discussions give you encouragement, useful advice, and hope. If you're grieving the death of a loved one, consider joining a Grief Share group. It's the perfect place for you to make sense of your suffering and heal from your pain. Begin your journey.
So there's one of thousands of videos on YouTube that can help a person process the grief. And I would never say to someone, be strong right after a loved one leaves their body. It's like, cry your eyes out, honey. Go, yes, let us all cry together, because that is such a monumental moment. I've never witnessed it, and I wanted to. I wanted to witness when my sister left her body. I got there 5 minutes later, and her mouth is open, and her body's stiff, and nothing's going on. But she left before I got there. And darn it, I missed it. And I cried after that, because it hit me that, wow, I missed that moment, and now look at this transition. But I don't think I'd ever say, be strong, be strong. Right after that moment, no, cry. It's time to cry your eyes out. This is a very the deepest emotion you can experience right after someone who you've loved all your life. I've knew her 50 years at least. And then she left her body before I got there. But the time, and then I cried and cried, and then the number 3 showed up everywhere. It's 3 o'clock, the broom B3, 333. Threes were everywhere. And I was like, what's with the threes? And then that's where my processing started, was the numbers that showed up. It's like, okay. And then 1023 with my significant other, that number was like, whoa, that was big. We cry because of the energy in that moment, because of the transition, the power that the soul leaves that temple after all those years. And we cry and let the emotions come out. That's process part. Yeah, let's process. Let's cry for a day, 2, whatever, how many days you need to cry. Let's not drag it into a whole year, though. Let's not cry for a whole year. We don't want to do that, because why? The body weakens when the longer you hold the sadness, the grief, the I don't know what many people hold on to, even unforgiveness. How could they leave me? How could they do this to me? Why would they do this to me? Why would the Creator let this person leave at this time? Because you need to grow. It's really, I feel it's all of when a person very close to us, our partner, husband, wife, when they leave, when they do, time to grow. Gary Zukav has been he's an author that I've followed and read his books forever. His partner left suddenly, I think a couple of years ago. It's been a very short time. And now he's making videos of that process that he went through when she left. He's making videos on YouTube, sharing what he's going through to understand why she left when she left. Now, I haven't heard him mention dates and times, but I think it's very, very significant when you mention dates and times. I think I got Mama AZ called in. Did you have a comment, Mama AZ, before I play the next video?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. How are you today?
Dr. V, I am so grateful. Do you know, I'm sitting on the ground. It's not true grass. It's imitation grass, but it'll do until I can get to where I'm supposed to be on the next journey. Not on the other side either. Anyway, I'm grateful. I'm here at the Haven Health Resort Community for Myself University. And I'm sitting on the ground and I take a picture. But did we not hear this from Minister Farrakhan, beloved, transferred?
Khadijah, yes, Farrakhan. I was saying her last name was Muhammad, but Khadijah Farrakhan. I'm going to do a show with Naima Latif next week to honor her and of all the phenomenal women, because she's definitely someone who was phenomenal.
Mhm.
Yes, she did transition. I think it was this week, I believe. If Naima, you might know the date if you're still here. But yes, so we have her to learn from. 93 years, I think she was on the planet. Uh, uh, okay, so Kim was saying, I need this. Thank you, Kim, for your love energy today. The flowers, thank you so much for the flowers. I need the flowers. I love the picture flowers. I have flowers outside my window. So yes, that's true. We're going to honor Khadijah Farrakhan next week, along with my sister Naima Latif, who has been in the Nation of Islam for some time, and who can share the testimony of having that type of a leader, Khadijah, in the house. So yeah, is that was your comment?
No, yeah, it was, but no, I really wanted to say, Dr. V, you inspired me to hurry up and get outside and safely get on the ground to exercise with you. It's your fault, V, and I love you so much. You inspire me to get down on the ground and exercise. And everybody, family, if you can't move but your little finger, move something. It's very important. So that's all I have to say. It was your fault, Dr. V, that I'm down here in the ground.
Yay! Yeah, even if it hurts, get down there on the ground. I thank you, Mom AZ. You have a beautiful day. I love you too. Even if it hurts, sometimes when you've had surgeries and you're limited in your movement and all that, and you say, well, I can't move because I might injure. No, even if it hurts, do it. And just trust that the movement will bring strength. That's what Mom AZ has learned in her special needs situation that she's in. She's not disabled at all, because she's able to do so much, lifting rocks and all these things. But you don't look at yourself as being disabled, not able to do things, but you have special needs. You're going to need help to lift things, to do things, but don't limit your movement. Ooh, that weakens the muscles. Just like that's why we do joint rolling every Friday morning, to demonstrate and to encourage and inspire you to keep moving, because you're going to strengthen your muscles. You strengthen your lymphatic system. You improve your circulation, and so much more. Your mental state, from the loss of or the transition of a loved one. When you're moving and dancing, you're going to see improvement. Now, I was surprised to find dance movement therapy. We didn't know that, but some people needed this. I wanted to show you a couple of therapy set of movements or special programs that people have created to balance the mind and body. Now, this one is like 4 years old, but it's called DMT, Dance Movement Therapy. This is your go-to when you see a loved one transition and it starts to cause sadness. Here we go.
I am a dance movement therapist, and this channel is about embodied healing and body-based therapeutic interventions. If you enjoy this video, I would love it if you took a moment to subscribe and also like, comment, whatever you please. We are embodied beings. Your body has been a part of your life experience since the day you were born. However, especially in Western societies, we've grown up to have a big disconnection to our bodies. From a young age, we learn to not trust our intuition, but to value rationality and external sources of knowledge instead. We learn to control our impulses to move and become trapped into a sedentary life. So with time, our minds kind of take control of the ship of our lives, and our bodies just become a mere container. And, yes, our bodies are very resilient, but they are not fools. When something is wrong, they will automatically respond. That's why whenever you're anxious about something, you might feel some butterflies in your stomach, for example, Or when you have a heartbreak, you literally feel pain in your chest and in your heart, because the body knows. And the only way to effectively transform, heal, and grow is to give it the attention that it deserves.
Now, did you hear her? Pain in your heart and other places. This is how the grief and the mourning will affect you. You're going to be inflamed because that energy is so low frequency, so acidic. Anytime you have a very acidic pH, you're going to have pain. So she's going to just introduce us to this beautiful LMT or DMT that will help you come out of that low frequency.
So I'm not saying you should ignore what's going on in your mental level, in your thoughts. No, I'm saying that by allowing yourself to explore the spaces that exist between your mind, your emotions, your body, and your environment, you're opening the door for more unconscious aspects of yourself to unfold. And you create safe ways to express, release, liberate in a way that is aligned with the creative, smart, embodied being that you are. Woo!
What is dance movement therapy? Yeah.
The American Dance Therapy Association defines dance movement therapy as the psychotherapeutic use of movement to promote emotional, social, cognitive, and physical integration of the individual. It's a master's level program that draws from psychotherapy, psychosomatics, psychology, sensory motor and developmental movement, and it also includes extensive internship hours with supervision. The use and application of movement in DMT are largely drawn from traditional and indigenous movement practices.
What's the difference between dance movement therapy and...
Dance movement therapy is based on the notion that our minds, our bodies, our emotions, and our environment are continuously interacting together. So let's think of when you go to a traditional talk therapist. You come with a certain issue or problem, and, well, you talk. So you use a verbal exchange to process, integrate, and explore the situation that you are bringing in. In the case of dance movement therapy, not only is there some verbal exchange, but we also use body awareness, movement, creativity, which opens the table to not only interact with your brain in sessions, but with all different facets of you.
What does a dance movement therapy session look like? Yes.
Dance movement therapy sessions are typically divided in 3 parts. You have the check-in, the warm-up, the development, and the check-out. This structure varies greatly depending on the therapist. Each therapist brings their own experience and style to the sessions. But for me, it may look like something like this. During the check-in, we'll typically have a verbal exchange where you'll kind of say how you're feeling in the moment, or things that have been going on in the past days. It can also be done in a written form or in an embodied way, depending on your needs at the moment. Then from the check-in, there's usually a main theme that emerges that we want to explore further. So that's where I start bringing your body into the picture. For example, imagine during the check-in, you talked about how you've been stressed at work. I might ask you, how does this stress feel in your body? And if you have a certain image to represent it. So you might say that it feels like a rock at the center of your chest. And then I'll guide you into some different movement exercises and dynamics to further explore what has been emerging in the session. For example, I may ask you to imagine that you were holding this rock that's at the center of your chest in your hands, and observe how your body interacts with this rock. So do you play with it? Do you feel like just throwing it out the window? Do you want to soften it? Do you want to change its shape? Does it become a person or a specific object? So we go into this movement exploration to further understand and explore what are the links between what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And
Now, I would be the therapist that says, let's take some deep breaths and dissolve that rock. That would be one of my my directions or counseling for someone who says feels like a rock. Let's close our eyes, visualize that rock, and then just breathe into that rock, soften that rock with your breath. Breathe in. As you breathe out, that rock starts to disintegrate. So this is just one suggestion for dance movement therapy, and you can find her on YouTube. It's called "What is Dance Movement Therapy? The Power of Mind Body." There are so many. And then one more I wanted to just a short one. She's now how dance therapy heals trauma. This woman gives a little advice on healing trauma that so many, like Venezuela, are going through right now, and we want to just give a little bit of advice on an ex or a therapist and her suggestion on how dance therapy heals trauma.
Hey there, it's Orit here. Do you remember when you were a kid and you were just like prancing around and dancing everywhere and you didn't have a care in the world? Or fast forward to, I don't know, 20 years later and you were out in the club, maybe a little bit intoxicated, dancing with your girls, dancing with your peeps, and you were having the best time in the world, just freely expressing yourself, totally uninhibited and totally feeling into you. So this is my reinforcement that dance is amazing. And if you've had amazing experiences with dance, I want to tell you why dance is the perfect way for you to unpack your trauma and heal. Because first of all, trauma is in the body. When we experience trauma, our brains go offline. And this is the part of the brain that stores memories. So we can't actually, a lot of the time, fully remember the trauma in our thoughts and in words. And that doesn't mean that it's not there, or that of course, that it didn't happen, but we're remembering it more in our bodies. So it makes sense. We need to access the trauma through our bodies. And what better way to do that through dance and movement? Because yes, there are somatic experiences that help unpack the trauma, and they can be super helpful. But what dance offers that nothing else in this kind of sense does is there's playfulness and there's spontaneity in this movement, which actually helps our nervous system come back to more normal. So we can let our nervous systems know that it's okay to be in activation, which is our fight and flight mode. It's okay to be in activation, and we can be in that place and also be safe. So it doesn't have to be a place of fear. And when we do this, we're also creating new neural pathways. When we're trying new movements, we are trying new behaviors, and we're changing who we are in a sense, meaning we're growing and we're, moving forward from this trauma and coming into a rebirth of ourselves. So the other thing is that on top of all of this, it's just way more fun to dance. There's other, again, movement-oriented, body-oriented modalities to help with trauma. There's even like exercise modalities. But I don't know about you, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with exercise. And dancing for trauma is way more exciting than doing squats for trauma.
So there you have it. I love her perspective on rebirth when you have a trauma, a grief, a sudden departure of a loved one. Their transition is time for your rebirth, is what she seems to be saying. Time for your rebirth and change. a lot of my friends and people I know who experience transition of loved one, they don't want to change. They want to stay the same as they were when that person was with them. And yet, to me, when a loved one transitions, it's time for you to rebirth, renew your thinking, renew your lifestyle, maybe, because whatever you went through with that person, it was a lesson for you to grow. It really is. Think of every transition you experience with someone as a lesson to grow. You were not meant to stay the same. When my significant other passed on, transitioned, I had a rebirth of how my next relationship would look like. It was like every day I thought about the past relationship I had with him, and I looked at the change I wanted in my next relationship. So that's why I'm still single. And yet I have someone of interest in my life, and yet I'm so looking forward to the spiritual partnership guidelines that Gary Zukav offers us instead of traditional marriage, because going forward, you don't want to have the same traditional relationships that you had if they were disappointing, sad, hurtful. It's time for a change. It's time for a rebirth, as she just said. So consider that if you have someone you are very close to and you did not have a spiritual partnership relationship, that's the change you need in the next one. Because if you had the traditional love till you die, the vows, and till death do us part, and all that, and then when they leave, you fall apart. Time for a change, a rebirth of thought. So every relationship that ends, whether it's through divorce or death or transition, that they didn't die, they just transition, they're now in an invisible form, but every relationship you've had teaches you about change and rebirth, because you don't want to repeat the same lesson in marriage 101 that you might have in spiritual partnership going forward. Spiritual partnership teaches you about commitment, courage, compassion, and conscious communications and actions. Many times in marriages, traditional marriages, there's very little communication. My almost 40-year marriage with my two sons' father, I have two grown sons, they're in their 40s now. That's what makes me want to live my life even more vibrantly. It's like, I can't believe my two sons are in their 40s. It's like, I'm rebirthing myself. I have to. It's like, the parenting stage is over. It's time for spiritual partnership to assist these grown men. If they ask, we can't force it. But in past relationship, my 40-year marriage ended because there was no communication. This man wanted to sit and watch TV all day if he could and do his thing, but he didn't want to talk to me for some reason. Why wouldn't anybody want to talk to me? Because I triggered the hell out of people. That's why. And I realized if you're being triggered, it's the creator, the universe is trying to tell you, go within. Don't blame the other person for triggering you, because that's what people do. You trigger someone and why'd you do that to me? You're so mean. Why would you trigger me? I didn't do it on purpose. I really didn't. I'm just speaking the truth. And then it touches something deep inside that you've buried. That's usually what happens. When you trigger someone, they get angry, unhappy. They have buried this emotion, and then you trigger it and it comes up and I don't like this feeling. You're a mean person. Okay, I'm going to move on for now. You sit there with that attitude, that emotion of anger, resentment, and whatever anger, and I'm going to move on to the next person and maybe have a cup of tea. And then I find more and more these days when people get triggered, they really do say, I need to work on something. instead of blaming the other person for triggering you, ask yourself, especially if you're the other person is really speaking in love. We, and I do say we need to discern when we're having a communication or a conversation that is really about loving each other, respecting each other. And that's what yoga is. Namaste says, I respect the person in you, or you respect the person in me. And yoga is a language that doesn't have words. We do these movements and we honor each other in our movements. And together we create that heart torus that brings more love into the environment without saying a word. But when the words come out, sometimes they're not the most gentle, soft, soothing words that people want to hear. And then we get irritated and we don't like the feeling that comes up, but it's really needed to detox and to purge and to rebirth, as the speaker just said. We want to be in a rebirth process when we have mourning and grief in our life. We want to have a transition ourselves. Ooh, I just got this thought. Just as the person transitioned their soul out of their body, we want those of us who are left behind at the funeral ceremony, we want to have a rebirth and transition from an older emotional state of attachment. This person's never going to leave me. I'll be attached to them forever and ever. We're going to, until death do us part, all that. We want to have a transition of our own. Those of us who are still left, of rebirthing new emotions, new feelings, new expressions of love. Maybe this person who left was too angry, too bitter. My partner who left had a lot of anger in him about Vietnam and about his parents who deserted him, left him. He had a lot of anger in it, and his vessel couldn't hold it anymore. That's really what happened. The kidney broke down, the bladder broke down. Let's see what else broke down. The prostate broke down. All because of anger, too much anger that was stored from war, from parents, from divorced wives, dead wives, all those things, transitioned wives. The vessel couldn't hold it anymore. And so his vessel was almost exploding. And it was in the form of pain and anger. So when we witness something like that, we can choose to transition our own emotions, our own feelings into more love, more compassion, more joy, and more dancing. So let's just dance our way out of here with Imak. And I hope that this teaching today, this lesson today, will help you to transition, just like your loved ones transitioned from the vessel of occupation for a period of time and went on to peace now. They're in peace. Why do we grieve and mourn that somebody's soul is now in peace? Because we were so attached to their physical body and the physical experience that when that ends, we mourn and grief. But the Creator says, I will turn that into joy when you process it. We started the process today from the mourning and the grief into joy. And I hope you'll continue to process that and find new relationships that can nurture your spiritual journey. Because a lot of times when we stay in mourning and grief, we have not been in a spiritual journey. We've been in a physical, materialistic journey, all ego, pride and journey. That's why the Creator says, process it. I'm going to turn that mourning into joy. When you decide to process it, process the mourning, cry for a little while, and then process, what do I need to change? And how do I rebirth myself for the honor of the person that just left and who's now teaching you on the other side? So like and subscribe, please. And please share this with others who might need to come out of their grief and mourning and start living and rebirthing. It's time for rebirth. And if you would like to donate to this tiny house village, this is my Cash App, $ Vieta Robinson. And I have 2 books that are available as ebooks. My latest one, From Fear to Faith and the Master Design, is a almost 20-year project from my sister's transition. I wrote lots of things about her transition in this book and what I learned about the vessel and German New Medicine. So that's what From Fear to Faith and the Master. If you send $8 to my Cash App, I'll send you the ebook right away. Like and subscribe. Okay, Kat, there's my Cash App. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I really felt the love energy today, and I hope this has been helpful to you. And please share and have a great, go out and get some sun. It's hot in Florida, but I'm going to get some sun anyway. So all my no yogi friends, namaste and satnam and Native American, aho, aho, aho. Love, love, love out to all of you. And ashe, ashe-o to all of those evolving in the knowledge and wisdom of our African ancestors, loving, loving, loving all the teachings and the knowledge that we're gaining. Because that's what we're here to do, is grow, evolve, keep growing like that plant out there. And every season, whether the flowers fall off, this magnolia tree is such a good example. Every year, the magnolia tree flowers, they come and they smell wonderful. I don't get attached. And then the flowers drop on the ground and turn brown. I was like, whew, what a process. And then we look forward to new growth. So that's what the turning the mourning into joy is all about. Watching the tree drop its beautiful flowers, transition out into those flowers are now part of the compost. And now we who observe that process can choose to grow like the magnolia tree just demonstrated. All bare, no flowers right now, but it's coming. The flowers are coming. The smell is amazing. Magnolia flowers. I used to cut the flowers off and put them in some water, but they die off. They change. They change and transition so quick when I do that. So I say, I'm not going to cut them off. I'm just going to go up to the tree, enjoy the smell, and then they drop off when the timing is right. There you go. That's the end of this message. When the timing is right, we will drop off the tree and go into the spirit realm and come back in a different form with renewed fragrance. There's a new renewed fragrance when we transition out of this body into spirit world, and the people left behind. You can mirror that process by growing with the tree and then blossoming in your season. That's what we're doing. Hey, process. It's a beautiful process. Take hold of it and run with it. So let's dance our way out with Imak. And remember, that's what's keeping us here is the flowers and the dancing. Shalom.
The cook en ha kabos en lis ora corona cook curdo en ha na cook kabora en ha na cook kabuch en ha anuki madras with mad pushalao on the bad book bad the cool type of gal the cook sahapa aka papa or Penenza put the cook on the order the who's to get a limit to order azempa haka kepu katarak a dirke hen Tashiya wish you want the sound come on. The fear who the kabali a kalat nun. I kick the kaboom to a pop to sad. I knew get a horse, we can pop my garage. I knew I went for book pop a lag. I knew I got what you I could get that. I knew could do on the culture destined yet. I knew could do la mother was part of that. I do free pop of that. The guy was said, but now that's super do I got no horse. The cook could put it in hot. The cook kaboom en ha